What's up, guys? If you are currently selling on Amazon or about to start selling on Amazon, you need to know what to do for the long game. When it comes to building your listing long term, growing sales long term, and making sure you squeeze out and suffocate all new competitors so you have an asset that survives and grows year after year. Too many times have I seen sellers have a little success, make a little money, then you get too damn complacent. And what happens when you get greedy too quick or get complacent too quick? Well, you'll watch your sales dwindle. You'll watch your rank dwindle. You'll watch other competitors take over. And by the time you see it, it's too late. And I'm sure some of you out there right now know exactly how this feels like. I've seen it yourself. So today I'm going to talk about 3 things you need to make sure you do to avoid this from happening to you, whether you're selling or about to sell, and what you can do if this has happened to you. These 3 things are what separates a common seller from selling for 6 months, a year, to someone who sells year after year and grows year after year and eventually could put some of their products on autopilot. So if you want to sell for the long run, not get squeezed out, know exactly what to do and when to do it, this is the video for you. We're going to hop on screen and show you exactly what those 3 things are. So for the first thing we need to think about is all about your listing. So I'm not talking about photos. I'm not talking about titles here. I'm talking about how to build your listing for the long term to protect yourself, grow sales, make sure competitors don't have a chance. And the best way I can show you this is just by an example here. So if we go down, this is a massive keyword, right? Milk frother, 160,000 searches per volume. We can see with Helium 10 there. We go to the first organic listing. We see Zule Kitchen. Yeah, they have 170,000 reviews, $15 here, 40,000 bought in the past month. But this goes into the first mistake that people make. They get a milk frother on here or whatever your product is you're about to sell or you're currently selling, you're seeing a little success. And they're like, oh, my milk frother is doing well. I don't really have to do anything. Just watch it every week. I'll be fine. Wrong. If your product's doing well, other people are going to see it. There's going to be increased competition. Maybe someone with a bit more money than you, more skill sets than you, bigger product line. So what do we need to think about to protect ourselves in the long run when we get a decent product? Okay, so some people just get a decent product. They think that's it. Okay, everything's fine. No, we should be thinking long term here. And what we do with this is we want to build a moat. So what I mean by a moat is a couple things. The first one being variations. Build and test variations on the same listing. You should go all in on one variation. Not all products can do this, but 90% of products can do this. And we see this right here. You think Zule is like, oh, my black milk frother is just going to dominate forever. No, we go down here to color. Look how many colors they have. This is absurd. This is exactly what they did, is they just kept adding new products. They kept making it better. We see we have Tornado Triple Whisk, one with batteries, a gift box series. They built a moat around their listing, meaning they just added more products. And what happens when you add more products? One, you're going to find more winners. When you're testing out new variations, you're going to find something the audience loves, and boom, you have another top seller right there. What's really cool about that is that top seller not only helps the rank, but combines rank and reviews onto that one parent listing, right? So this is a parent listing here. These are the child ASINs right under here. So one listing has a bunch of products on it that helps with rank, helps push reviews, helps get more sales, to ensure that you're always ranking the top 3, top 2, and you're always getting better so that if any competition comes around, we have a moat, we have more products, we have more volume than you. We have higher review rates because of that as well. So you have to be thinking long-term about your listings. Keep building them. Before you make listing 2, listing 3, listing 4, go all in on that one listing that's already doing well and protect it, grow it, keep pushing it because competitors eventually will come if the market's continuing to grow. Another strategy we can implement on our listing for long-term, making sure volume's there. We can go to ketchup bottles here for an example. So we go down, obviously these are a very generic product. I don't suggest anybody's selling these. But we go down here, we see $6.99, $7.99, very cheap product, right? Yeah, they're selling 10,000 units per month. That's pretty good. But I bet they're not making a lot of money with this. You get 3 bottles, you got shipping, FBA fees, referral fees for $8. They can't be making a ton of money, right? Well, you're probably right. This is probably what I call a loss leader, not what I call a loss leader, what every marketer and a person who's read a Russell Brunson book knows about this, right? It's just most people don't think about it when it comes to an Amazon FBA listing, which I think is dumb. And what I mean by this, what is a loss leader? Okay, we see the 3-pack here, 12 ounce for $8 here. Then we see $17.99, $18.99, $18.99 here. So what's most likely going on here, they've probably had these other packs on here for a while, or they released them all together here, but they have one pack right here, purposely lower than the rest to get all the traffic in, right? It's less than half the price here. So your ads will be more efficient. Your click-through rate will be more efficient. Your rank will be better because Amazon rewards people with a lower price. So it's going to be easier to rank this listing. And guess what? They're fine with breaking even here because where they make the money is the thousands of people that come on this listing, 30% will grab something else with a really high margin. And that's where you make your money. This is a great way to get more traffic to your listing than other people. It's a great way to help you rank up. It's a great way to kind of bamboozle people into picking something with a 40% margin versus a 10% margin. And we call this a loss leader. You can drive all your ads to this one product right here. And then, 20 to 40% will buy something else. And then boom, you have a super profitable listing with high volume, high rank. So this is another strategy we can do to essentially protect our listing, make sure no one can come at us because we already have something that has a super low price that no one else can compete with. And we're still making money on our back end. So before we go on to strategy number 2 here, and before we get complacent, make sure you're thinking of creative ways to test new variations, build a moat around your listing, whether that's a loss leader or a ton more variations. I suggest both if possible. Not everything's possible with every niche and every product, but if you're not constantly testing for years on this listing that's doing well, eventually you're gonna get beat out, right? Now there's a point in time, which I'll talk about a bit more later, where yeah, you could take your foot off the gas, where you can kind of slow up and get a little greedy. But if you have 80 reviews or 200 reviews and you're not pushing harder and harder to get a bigger gap from you and your competition, you're dumb. Someone can overtake you with 200 reviews. That's not that many. So we need to keep pushing until we're so far ahead of the competition that no matter what they do, they'd be dumb to enter that market because we have dominated for so long. We have such a huge lead and now we can get greedy. Yeah, maybe that's not going to look like 170,000 reviews, but maybe it's 3,000 reviews. Maybe it's 1,000 reviews. Maybe it's 2,000 reviews. Maybe it's 800 reviews and 10 variations that's killing it in a loss leader. But we see right here, Milk Frother, $10. Zule Kitchen, $15. Why can they get away with that? Because look at the difference here. They're 3xing the competition right here. So this person's just trying to break even most likely, maybe making a buck per milk frother doing 30,000. And they're over here making $4 or $5 per milk frother, making 10x profit than this person because when they got the advantage, probably back in like 2013, they never took their foot off the gas pedal. They kept creating and now they're reaping the rewards of it with a long-term asset that keeps growing. Okay, so next we need to talk about what happens and what should we do if competition enters our market, right? We're going to notice this, right? If we're doing well, we have sales coming in, we have profit, there's just too much attention where eventually someone's going to enter that market regardless of even if we're doing well or not, someone's going to enter that market. Say we're doing well, we're kind of comfy, which kind of the whole point of this video is don't get too comfy too quickly. But let's say someone enters our market. Let's say we're this person right here. We have 200 plus sales per month here, 4.3K reviews. Okay, so let's imagine we have 200 reviews here, right? It's pretty hard to find an exact scenario, but for new sellers, this is pretty common. Okay, great. We're doing super well. Everything's going smooth, 200 plus bought, this price point, 5K, 10K per month, whatever that is. And someone enters this market, say it's the same product, right? These are some weird nose hair trimmers. I was trying to find a good niche to kind of go into here. And I thought, hey, these are kind of weird and I've never seen this product before. So here we are. So say this is your competitor right over here, right? So 50 plus bot, they're at $10. Okay. They put rock bottom pricing down here for this. So that's what a lot of competitors do. They'll come in rock bottom prices, try to catch with the volume, try to catch with the reviews. So say this person's at 30 reviews, they're matching your same review ratings there. So, 4.1, 4.1, right? We're imagining here. Because you will see this as a seller, you will see new competitors enter, and the scenario I'm laying out is pretty much how it goes every single time. Okay, so they're catching up with you. You've seen a dip in your sales because they're, the cheaper people are buying this. So what should you do here? Well, most people, they refuse to lower their price. I think this is a big mistake because if you sit there and let them catch up with reviews, catch up with sales volume, they're going to outrank you, they're going to out-review you, and all of a sudden you're going to be the one in their shoes. The roles will reverse. You need to take the advantage while you have the lead, while you're in charge still of this market. So what do? Yes, you probably bite the bullet. You lower your price down to match theirs, whether that's break even, $1 loss. But while you have the lead, squeeze them out. They can't do it forever. If they see you responding and you bring their price down to theirs, the whole market share they just got for lower price is gone now because you're winning in reviews, you're winning in rank, they're gone. Their strategy it just disappears. So essentially you wait them out until they disappear. They're non-relevant and you suffocate them out of the market. This works, guys. It depends sometimes what market you're in, how long you have to go to squeeze them out. But I've seen lowball sellers trying to get up market share, try to outtake you. All of a sudden you play their game for a little bit and they go away because they know they can't win if you stoop to their level and play that game. So every time you see a market threat, a competitor that is actually a threat, squeeze them out. Do it sooner than later. Because if those roles switch over, you're screwed. Because obviously they're not afraid to have rock bottom prices and squeeze out everybody else. So if you no longer have the advantage, it's over. You lost. So short term, squeeze them out for the long term of gaining something that's going to keep growing faster. Push them out of the market. You're going to sell a lot more, obviously, at lower prices. So you're going to get more reviews, more rank out of it. So turn it into an investment to squeeze someone else out and rank, get reviews, and keep pushing your product forward. So we've heard about the strategy of how to build your listing for the long term with loss leaders, building a moat, building variations around it. We've talked about what to do when competitors enter the market and not falling for the mistake of just letting it play out. No, take action, suffocate them out the market. And thirdly, I want to talk about the mindset you should have when you have a product having a little bit of success. I know we touched on it here and there, but this is so important to make sure you do not take your foot off the gas pedal too early. I've seen this time and time again where someone's doing $700,000 in revenue last year. They come to me and their sales have half. They're down to 300,000. Competitors are swarming and their business looks to be in a terrible place. It's like they have to relaunch and wait months again or years again to get back to the place where their cash flow is healthy. Everything looks good. There is a place where you get greedy. Absolutely. But you need to be way ahead of your competition. You need to build a moat around your listing, squeeze out as many competitors as possible, push down on volume and reviews, get to a place where you have 3x, 4x your competitors' reviews, and they probably can't touch you again, right? Obviously, don't get too greedy where you're trying to get to 60% margins or something like that. No, stay around that borderline of like, yeah, I get a couple extra bucks and my volume's still good. That way your review rate always stays higher than the other competitors. And don't stop. If they have 50 reviews and you have 200, that's not 4x. Get to 1,000 first, and then we'll talk about that actually being something that's applicable. When we're at like 4x reviews, we're dominating the market. Get a little greedy. Christmas time, maybe get a little greedy if your sales volume goes way up. You'll know your market, where you can kind of get greedy and where you need to be aggressive. Just don't take your foot off the gas pedal too early. I've seen it too many times where 6-figure, 7-figure Amazon businesses disappear because you had such a good thing so early and didn't know how to protect your lead with it. So that's all, guys. Don't get greedy too quickly and build something that's going to last the years. Think long term. Think the long play here. All right, guys, that's it.